Welcome to Talk to Brazil with Tom Reaoch, the business connector to business in Brazil. Welcome to Talk to Brazil, the Business Connection, a podcast about business in Brazil and the world. I'm Tom Reaoch, an American living in Brazil for many years and known as the king of networking, connecting people and talking from my podcast studio in Campinas, São Paulo, Brazil. Today's guest is Manca Korelc. She's joining us again today from Ljubljana, Slovenia. Manca is a LinkedIn trainer helping B2B companies using LinkedIn profiles and pages to boost marketing and increase sales. And she's also a lover of lakes and is now an author, having just launched her first book, The Slovenia Lakes by Manca Korelc. It's the top 101 lakes. So hello and congratulations and welcome back to Talk to Brazil, Manca.
Hi, Tom. Thank you for having me again.
It's always our pleasure. And I read in the release about the book that you decided to visit all Slovenian lakes with the bike. So you actually rode around the country. You cycled to more than 1,050 lakes all around the country. A fantastic story.
Thank you. Yes, the book was released yesterday. So I'm still in a lot of emotions today that we finally reached the finish of the project. It lasted almost 2 years. And yes, it is the peak of the project, me cycling to all of Slovenian lakes, now cycled to more than 1,100 lakes. So it is really an awesome story. It's my personal project, sport project, tourist project, and very personal, as a matter of fact.
Taking your dream forward, right?
Yes. So hard and so exhausting process, and I'm so glad it is over.
I understand that most people don't realize how much work goes into a book.
Yes.
They just look at a book and they see a book, but they don't know, like you said, 2 years.
They don't see the process. Yes.
And that's what we're going to talk about that pretty much on the podcast today, because really what I want to do is obviously talk about you, talk about this process, your dream that we talked about last time. We'll start out talking about LinkedIn, but today it's more about you, what you've done, the project, and exactly part of this, of the process of making a book and what's involved. And it is complex. It is a lot of work. But it's also a lot of satisfaction, like this adrenaline rush you're getting is because of that.
And the gratitude. One woman came to me yesterday on the event, and she said, "Manca, you gave me so much today," and I was like, I didn't even know how to respond to that, and I was feeling like a star. I was signing the books. We were there was quite a lot of books bought yesterday, and we were all excited about that. And I was sitting at the round white table, and signing the books, and I was like, I didn't have time to eat, to drink. I didn't have time to say hi to people or goodbye to people. They didn't have time for anything but signing the books and photographing. I was feeling like a star, and I wasn't prepared for that.
Oh, no. Really? Well, what did you expect?
Really, I don't know. I was just focusing on, I was the event organizer, and I was just focusing on the official part of that hour when I was talking about the process, and I was inviting a few members of the team that were close to the process, and this was my focus. And after that, I was from now on, and a few times I almost started crying like crazy. I was like, just Manca, just focus on the words. And that was my focus, to just try to find the energy and focus to tell everything I wanted. I was having notes, of course, and that was my focus. And after that, it was all, the energy was amazing, and there were so many people, my family, my friends, my business partners, some of them, and it was really, really magical. And the energy, they did the magic, that everyone was networking, and the book, the event was for the book, but I believe it was so much networking among them because I was signing the books and I didn't have time to mingle around them. I was just sitting and photographing. And it's by the lake. It was in a restaurant by the lake, and it was in the evening when around 8 or 9 p.m. It was, of course, almost dark, and the moon was right there where it should be. It was magical, and I was so excited. And today I am emotional. Yesterday I was too much adrenaline, and I was just, is everybody okay? Did you eat? Did you drink? Manca, did you? No, I don't have time. I need to sign the books. I need to focus I don't know, walk on shoes, without any pain and so on. And it was really so much love. I feel so much love, so much gratitude for how it is in business life. Time is the most valuable thing, and this is what I treasure most, for people to come, to take time, come to me and be with me for an hour or 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever.
Right.
Around 3 hours. It lasted for 3 hours. And
wow.
This is an afternoon, and it is not. I don't know how to say. I really am grateful for the people to really come, and it was family, friends, social media followers that I saw for the first time, and they tell me. I am following you, and I'm so inspired by you, and you give me so much trip ideas and so on. And I was like, this is, you feel that this is the main reason I actually do that.
Right.
To get that feedback from the people. I'm still so. All I do today is cry. Really, I will focus for this conversation, of course, but I'm really so emotional because the process of the book was so really, really hard. You know the pain, and the book has more than 500 photos, and this is a project inside the project, just the photos, and it was. And some photos are still not the way I want them to be, but I will sleep over that.
Well, that's for your next book.
Yes, that's for my next book. But yeah,
you still have a lot of lakes to show, right?
Yes, but they asked me that, when will be the next book? I said, I don't know, there will be another one, but not in that format, because this is one-time book. And the next one will be more personal, because my Lakes project is a very personal journey for me, and I will talk about that in the next book. But it will not have so many photos, and it will be entire different format and genre and so on. So it will be different. It will be personal. This is not so personal. Of course, you get to know me through reading the book, but it's not so personal.
That's a whole day discussion, because
yes, it is.
actually, you are showing. I imagine you're showing the lakes through your eyes, through your emotions, and you picked these lakes for a reason. So,
and they picked me.
No, and that's personal. It can't be more personal than that. So you're not a tour guide.
No. Yes, and I was talking about that yesterday in the event, that I am a lake. And lakes are my, I can say the lakes are my channel, kind of, through, and I need to cycle all that kilometers to invest all of the time into planning my cycle trips, and see all the lakes, and to create thousands and thousands of photos of the lakes. And I need that process because I see that there was a lake. It's not in the book, and I don't tell the location. It was a lake that I got there 2 years ago. It was in the winter. And when I got there to the lake, I started crying, and I still don't know why. And I was like, oh my God, what is going on? And that was the moment that I realized, okay, Manca, these lakes are not just lakes. This is so personal. Okay, what is going on? And that moment was the seed within me to really try to figure out why am I doing this? Why I need to do this?
Right.
Because I feel I need to do this.
Right, right.
And when a year later or something like that, I went again to that lake in the summer when there was no ice on the water, and this lake is like, it's fairy tale. And I started crying again. This time I was alone. The first time it was a friend with me, and I was like, oh my God, I want to be alone. I want to be alone. And the second time I went alone, and I was crying like crazy again. I was like, what is going on? What's with the lake? It's in the region of Slovenia that I have no emotions for. It's not. I don't know. I'm not from there. It's just somewhere. And I was like, and that is really was kind of I don't know the word, but it. I realized that this is really much more than just cycling around lakes and meeting
I think what you found, that's my guess, there's so much energy in nature.
Yes,
and
yes.
Sometimes, sometimes I think generally we don't understand that energy that's there, and we don't know how it works. But when you feel that it works, that's when you know it's there. That's hard to explain, but it's there.
Yes, I don't know. It's unexplainable.
That's unexplainable. It's unexplainable.
It should be. It's irrational, and my cry is there.
I don't want to say it's irrational, because what I found in my life, these types of energies, they're not an energy that you put in a package and sell to everybody. It's very specific. It's very personal. And that only happens, let's say, to you or to me or to anybody, because you were there. You were there when the lake was frozen. You were there when the lake was unfrozen. And that energy was there for you. It wasn't there for anybody else.
Yes,
I'm not saying it's not there for anybody else, but that energy connected, and you connected to it. So that's just, plugging in. And that's what I think is amazing about the energy. Yeah. And it's sort of unexplainable. We don't have to think that it's not rational. It is rational, but it's very difficult. It's very difficult to explain. That's all. But you have to feel it. You felt it, right?
Yes, I embraced it, and I embrace all of that energy. Well, there are some lakes that I don't feel nothing. There are waters that you are not nothing special. I'm okay with that. Right. It's okay. But that lake is, I don't know why, special to me, and I don't reveal the location. I put it off my website. Really, it's the only one, and it's not even the one that from Kočevje that I'm from. My hometown is a small town, Kočevje, and there is a lake, and it's my favorite. But I tell everybody around that lake, but for that mini lake, I don't want anybody to even know it exists. So it's really, I believe it is, that lake represents a part of me that I need. Yes, that I need to, I don't know, kind of understand, embrace, whatever, and I want to be hidden from the public for now. I don't know. And for that was really the moment when
I think you have to look at it from another perspective. What you just said, the lake is part of you, right?
Yes.
But if we look at the lake, I'm sure thinks that you are part of it.
Oh, yeah.
Now think about it from that perspective.
Yes.
All of your lakes, everything, nature has all this energy, but it only connects when it has somebody or something that it wants to connect to.
Yes, of course. It's
that
like
doesn't mean that somebody else is going to go there and feel they won't. Because the lake has energy. That energy, it's not personal. It's not the lakes aren't people, but they're there. Yes. And they saw you come, and for whatever reason, and that lake reacted to your energy and made that connection. So it's not you and the lake. It may be the lake and you.
Yes. Oh, wow.
No, a lake just hugged you, and you didn't realize it.
Yes, indeed it is like that.
So that's what you need to do, is absorb that energy, take it in, and build on that. That's energy for you. That's a little package of, it's another little battery, mental, physical, spiritual battery that charged you up.
Yes, indeed it does.
Literally.
And it really does. When I'm at home in Kočevje, I go almost every time to my lake right there. And it is quite a big lake. And it's this summer, I believe, is because of the COVID situation, it's so crowded. And I don't like that. But still, I find hidden corners and I hide there. And I try to... when it comes to a lot of people, I don't connect to any energy, right? I need pure nature to that energy to plug in. So I go where nobody goes, right? That lake, and I literally get kind of or dialogue or energy and recharges me.
Right.
Can be placebo, but still it works for me. And last year I was in the situation personally, and I was like literally talking to myself, I will go to the lake and have a conversation with the lake. I was quiet, of course, when I was there, but I had a question that I didn't know how to answer to it, and I didn't know how to decide for one situation, doesn't matter what it is. And when I got there, I was there for around 2 hours, and I said, okay, now I decide to tell some person some things, okay? And I was like, okay, thank you, Lake. And perhaps it is weird to talk about it like that, but of course Lake is quiet, and I was quiet, and I was just talking to myself within me, but kind of the energy kind of flows apparently and helps me to decide for something.
Right.
But the lake from my hometown has that energy to help me do that. Not I don't decide for every decision with the lake, of course not, but still it was a very personal decision for me, and I got the courage to say some things to a person. So and the lake, I believe, helped me, that energy that I got, and I got the courage, and it really recharges me when I'm in this process of the book. It was really hard. I'm still under that influence of how hard it was, how not hard, difficult. I learned a lot of things, and I learned all of the things I needed to learn.
Right.
I got the team, but it was sometimes I was a few times in 2 years in a situation when I had lack of motivation, and that does not happen a lot of times for me. I'm a really energetic person, and my self-motivation is amazing. But it was a few times before Corona, of course, and after Corona, a few times I was like, oh my God, I don't have any energy for this goddamn book. How can I just finish this? And you know the drill. We were finishing the book, I don't know, 2 months. So many files, so many details, and they were talking about what colors of this papers in pages in the just beginning after the cover. I was like, what is this anyway? I was like, I know literally every centimeter of the book. Good. Everything. I know everything about the book.
Good.
And I know too much, right? I'm an author and an editor, and it is too much for a person who writes the first book, but still, it is the same as with Lakes. With this book, I exceeded my boundaries and everything. It is really a peak of my creativity, of my Lakes book, of everything. And well, now it's time for selling the book. Okay, it will be another hard process, but I'm so glad it is over. But still, it is like my Lakes, the process of the writing and creating the book. I was creating literally the book. It was a very personal journey, and kind of another situation, a long situation, where I just needed self-motivation, and my grandma, 2 weeks ago, my grandmother died.
Oh, I'm
and
sorry
I was
to
like,
hear.
oh, really, thank you. And I was like, she was a very, very important person in my life from the age 0. And I was like, how does this, unfortunately, she will not see the book from this planet, but it was another situation when I needed to focus and just rise and continue with my project. And it's amazing how a body works. And I was when I got the news, the next day I was on the by the seaside.
Right.
I was on vacation.
Right.
It was a semi-vacation, right? But I was sleeping all day. I just couldn't. I told to my friend, I said, I cannot live. I just need to sleep. I cannot eat. I cannot do nothing. But the book was already in the printing house. But I was from the sea. I was calling to the printing house. Is everything okay? Will my book be on Monday? I have 2 events on Tuesday, and I was calling on Monday the printing house, and I said, Anja, is everything okay? Will I get the books today? No, man, unfortunately, you won't get the books today. I was like, what? I don't know, something went wrong in the printing house, and I said, oh my God, I need these books. And he said, you will get them on Tuesday morning. I said, okay, and I really got them. And it was really, yesterday I talk a lot, like you said.
That means that Monday night you didn't sleep, right?
I slept, but I was like, oh my God, I need this book, And when I got the book for the few hours, I didn't even, originally she is in the, I don't know, she's kind of dressed in a folia, how to say that, with a badge that the book is bilingual,
okay.
right?
Right.
Slovenian and in English language. And I didn't even open it. I couldn't open it. I was just looking at it and put it in my purse, and I said, okay, just be there. I will find time to kind of see through you. And when at 1 p.m., this event for the journalist was, and I was like, oh my God, I need to open the book. I need to be the first one to see the book. I opened the book, and I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't have the courage to read it, because I'm afraid I will find mistake, grammar mistake,
well,
or whatever.
That happens. But
Of course it does. But I don't know. I don't want to see a mistake. Not yet. So I don't. I just go through like that. I go, okay, you are great, amazing. I want to read it for 1 week. I don't know how much time I need, and it's really. I feel how personal that is, and I didn't realize yet what happened to me yesterday, and I was really so grateful for a lot of people came to the event, and I didn't expect that. Of course, this kind of event it's once in a lifetime, of course, and people knew that.
right.
But still, it was really.
Well, even now in today's time, people also are looking to share celebration for any reason.
Yes.
And people are very happy to be with a person like you sharing your celebration. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Yes, and it was really, the feedback was really amazing, because I was very personal when I talked about the book, and they felt my love. And my sister, now I will cry, I won't cry. When my family came a few, half an hour before the event,
Right.
and she wrote me a poem about me and my legs, and I started crying, and I read that poem
Right.
on the stage
Right.
to the audience, and quite a few people cried.
Okay.
I was crying like crazy. My tears went down. I was like, Manca, just read it. Stop being so emotional. I was looking at my sister. She was like crying like crazy. I was crying. Everybody was crying. But it's I believe I really succeeded with the thing I wanted the most, to give them, to kind of show them what lakes really mean to me,
right.
and to try to teach them what lakes can be.
Right.
Lakes are
No, what lakes are.
What lakes are.
What they are.
But they are for me something.
Yeah, they're not going to be. They are. The lakes have been there before all of us.
Yes, of course.
So they are more than we are. So.
Yes. Some of them really.
Well, you said your lake, the lake that you call my lake, which is your lake.
Yes.
You were born by that lake, I guess.
It is in my hometown.
Right. So that lake knows you ever since you were. That lake knew you before you knew the lake.
Yes. See? Yes. As a matter of fact, it really.
Probably when you were a kid, somebody took you strolling by the lake, right? And you didn't even know how to talk.
Yes, perhaps. And, I'm just translating some words. And that lake, my lake, was...
well, it's now our lake. It's everybody's lake, but it's our lake.
Yes, that is. I give that lake to everybody. But that lake was, I will read it now, brown coal mine. Before it was a mine, before it was a lake. And a very interesting thing of that mine is that my grandfather was a president of that mine for 17 years. And that fact really determined his personality.
Right.
That role in his life, he was really he was talking a lot about that, about him being a director of the mine in Kucheria.
And a mine for coal.
Yes, a mine for coal. Before it was a lake. But
okay, let's reflect on the word coal, and let's reflect on the word that we talked about, energy.
Yes.
Coal is energy. Coal was energy.
Yes. And
all right, so in that water, under that water, around that water, when we were talking about a lake has energy, that lake literally has energy. It was energy.
I never thought about it like that.
No, but think about that. That is energy. And I'm not saying that the water covered the energy, but there's energy there. So people extracted that coal. And that coal, I'm from Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania, and coal in Pittsburgh was used for really two reasons ever since I was a kid. One was to heat our house. We would get a truckload of coal, and that coal we would burn during the day, but mostly during the night in the winter. And that heated our house. The other side, Pittsburgh is the steel city. Steel is the essence for the manufacture of steel. So there's a lot of energy in coal.
There's a lot of energy in that lake.
And that's why. And that lake and the other lake. So there's energy.
There's energy. Well, that's rational. That's rational. How to explain that, right? And this is another dimension of thank you very much for that. And I really strongly believe that my grandfather he was determined by being a director of a mine, and I'm determined by being a lover of lakes and researcher of the lakes and collector of lakes and so on. And it's really personal that we were skating on that lake a few years ago. There were quite a winter. It's not. It never freezes nowadays because it's quite a big lake, so it really needs cold, and it's not that cold anymore in winters. And there were disco beside the lake, and that lake really was giving me, or still is giving me, a lot of memories from different lives, right? And I inherited that lake determination for my personality, and it's really amazing. So. The book actually, I was talking about it yesterday. Niko Slavnic, which is the director of the publishing house of the book, he was the initiator of the book. in September 2 years ago, he asked me, Manca, would you write a book about lakes? Okay. He knew about my lake project, of course.
Right.
He invited me, and I was like, yes, I didn't even thought about it for a microsecond. I had no idea what I'm into, of course. But the thing is that being an author of a book is my dream, my childhood dream come true.
Right.
When I was not even 10 years old, I started writing a novel around family. Of course, I never finished that novel, but that novel was the seed for this book.
Okay.
Right, and afterwards I was, writing diary, and after that I started writing around business topics, around digital marketing, LinkedIn, of course, for the last 3 years. And writing was really is a part of me, but still I write a lot for social media, for web.
Right.
But I really wanted to become a book writer, and that book really is Through My Legs, which is so personal topic for me, and is dream come true. And yesterday I was talking about it, and I said I am waiting for this moment for almost 30 years. And it is really, it's not just the book, it is really, Gordon, one of the team members, said Manca is the book, or the book is Manca. When you read the book, you see her. So, and that is
well. If we reflect on that, books have been around for thousands of years.
Yes.
Right.
Huh.
No.
Right.
It's not.
Long before the web.
And they have been. So what I think is one of the first objectives of any book, to preserve knowledge, but at the same time to share knowledge. Forever.
Yes.
Forever.
Yes.
So there are books around. If there are books that are 2,000 years old, they have knowledge, they've been preserved, and how many generations afterwards can go back and either read them on paper, or they can read them on internet or whatever. And so you're just part of that cycle. You're part of putting all of your knowledge, putting yourself, and it is any book is a personal thing. I don't think any book is not personal, because people do it. It's not done by someday in the future. It might be done by machines. All right.
Yes, of course.
But projects by people have emotion. All right. They have everything that you just got finished saying. All right.
Yes.
And that's Manca in a nutshell within a book that has a cover, that has a reason, about a fantastic experience. And what I found when we first met on LinkedIn, one of the things, you don't remember this, but one of the things that attracted me to getting in touch with you was the fact on your profile you had there on top, Lake Lover. No, and that, when you're talking about business and business networking and what we do, what you do, we're out there and we have a process of examining people, whether we want to connect or not, right? And remembering that we connected actually from a person who had a group in China.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But anyway, when you look through that and up pops your name and your profile, I go take a look. I says, wow, a lake lover. All right. Because obviously, I don't want to take anything away from your competence as a LinkedIn marketing person. That's fantastic. All right. But you're the only person that I know in this world that's a fantastic LinkedIn marketing person and loves lakes. No, seriously. Yes. And you talked about lakes. You're emotional about lakes. And you talked about something at the beginning of our conversation, which to me is also very important. You sat there behind you. Two things. First of all, you weren't behind the stage. You were on the stage. When you made events, you were behind the stage. You were backstage. You were helping an event happen. Last night, you were on the stage. And everything behind the stage was happening. and everything in front of the stage was happening. And you had all the emotions from all sides. You were thinking about, well, what can go wrong, and you never think about what can go right. But one of the things that went right that you saw and you said was the fact that you brought people together and they were networking. They already knew you, all right? They might not have known each other. You may have followers that could be the first time that they met you personally, but they knew about you. They were connected, all right? But I'm sure many of the people that came didn't know each other.
Of course not.
And when you said that, the networking, so that my simple evaluation from far away is you have helped transfer and generate probably one of the most positive energies that's more difficult to replicate than the energy coming out of any lake, is to get people just to talk to each other. And that, fantastic book, but just dwell on that, what you did. And not only yesterday, what I found, I wrote a book and I understand everything that you went through, all of the trauma, all of the difficulties, everything. But when I look back at my book, it has become one of the tools, one of the elements, very important for me, about networking. What I have found, yours is different. Yours is full of beautiful pictures. People are going to open up and they're going to look at it and they're going to appreciate it. My book doesn't have any pictures. It's just a lot of text. And what I found, people don't read books. They like to have books. No, they like to have a book that's signed by the author. But they don't read them. What they do like, somebody will invite you to talk about I'm inviting you to talk about your book. All right. You have the advantage of having a book that's beautiful, full of beautiful pictures, beautiful places, and the essence. Because after I met you as a lake lover, for probably the first time in my life, I clicked on Slovenia, and I saw that it's a country of lakes. Now, most people don't know that. So what's lakes? Is this lady crazy? What's happening out there? No, there's history there. It's a country full of lakes, full. You went out and visited, and when I saw here on one of the releases, you visited, where is that? You visited 1,025 lakes, 1,025 lakes.
Well, it is much more than that. It's 1,000.
Whatever, a thousand lakes.
More than 1,000.
1,000 lakes. There's a lot of lakes. And you paddled on your bicycle. One thing is to get a plane and fly over 1,000 lakes and take some pictures and say, hey, that's nice. But you paddled, so you've seen, you know the lakes know you.
Yes.
You picked out 100 that's 10% of what you've seen. That in itself is fantastic. So all these things come together. I found a person in Slovenia, lake lover, a country that's full of lakes. There's something there. There's something there.
And if you Googled Slovenia, you probably saw Bled Lake. And it's the most important kind of icon of Slovenia. Google it, Bled Lake, Slovenia. It has fantastic panorama. It's from a fairy tale. It's full of visitors. That's why I'm not a big lover of that lake, but it's really, from afar, it really is like from a fairy tale. And this is Bled Lake. One of the lakes is the most important tourist attraction of Slovenia. Everybody from every foreign visitor, really, not because of my project, but that's the way it is. Everybody that comes to Slovenia visits Bled Lake because it's that icon of Slovenia.
I want to take what you just said and put that together with business.
Okay.
My business experience, and one of the things that's in my book, one of my things in my book is I ask people, whatever I did or said in my life, if it affected you. And one person said and wrote, and it's in the book, and what he mentioned was this aspect of big and small, but referring to clients. And he mentioned it in one meeting, what I had said. One person says, well, in a business decision, should we go after the big client or should we go after the little client? If we have production capacity, should the capacity go to the big client or to the little client? And one of the things that I defended was we need to satisfy the small client, because someday that small client is going to be big. And what we've seen recently in the world, unfortunately, many big clients are going broke. So I just want to take that to your lakes. And what you've said, I'm sure you're showing that in your book. Obviously, the big lake is the attraction.
Mm-hmm.
But you told me and you said you like to go to some remote lakes by yourself, right? Mm-hmm. And it's a whole different story. Mm-hmm. And so the energy in small could be a lake, could be a person, it could be a company. Sometimes there's more energy than in the big.
Yes.
But not necessarily more energy. The energy that's in the big lake, it's shared amongst millions. Everybody who goes there wants to see it.
Yes, yes.
Where when you go to something small, you interact with a mom and pop store, right? I'm sure in Slovenia you have the nice, beautiful cities. You have little shops, mom and pop shops that sell things. And that's where you make the connection. It's probably not in the big supermarket or the major malls, all right? So you're more comfortable and there's more. And this is the same with anything. That's nature. And you've helped people. You are helping and you will help, because there's still 900 and some lakes out there that you're going to show, of being able to reach things that that don't come up in the Google search. Google search comes up for anybody. What's down there in your book someday will come out, because people will buy your book, they'll read your book, they'll see the photos, and they'll see how much your great country offers.
Yes.
They won't know that. They won't know that by a Google search. They'll go to the big lake. I don't want to say anything bad about your big lake. Don't get me wrong.
Of course not. The thing is that foreign tourists, of course, they Google for Slovenia. They don't Google for just a small lake in Slovenia, right? And for that reason, the book is bilingual. I wrote it in Slovene, and it was translated to English. So it has two languages within it, because I want it to be limitless when it comes to sharing that love for the lakes and sharing that passion for cycling and to searching for a new, smaller. I really like smaller lakes. There are, the energy of small is bigger, probably. It's more powerful.
More compact, yeah, I think so.
Yes, because where everybody comes to Blade, and the lake has a lack of energy because it needs to give so much of that. So lakes, the book actually can be a representative for, giving the love and giving to transcend that passion for researching new things, new worlds around our homes. In the last 3.5 years when I do the lakes, I've got to know Slovenia so much more, and it's my country. Right. And the thing is, Slovenians, we are kind of tend to go out, and we are more fond of, in our course, are more fond of the foreign. Right. Artists, books, everything that it's not Slovenian. And the book is as well wants to share this love for our country and our hometown. Right. I know a lot of much more of Kočevje and the towns around my hometown through lakes, of course, but still I went there. I would never go there if they were for the lakes, right? And still we need to, and this COVID situation really is perfect for that.
No, but you're an absolute perfect role model for anybody in the world, because what you said about Slovenia, even though it's the same thing we could say to anybody here in Brazil or anywhere else in the world, most Brazilians don't know Brazil. And when I say about foreign people, Brazilians don't know everything that's here. And for the same reason, they'd rather go to Europe or go to the United States or go somewhere else. But there's so much to be seen literally in our own backyard. Some backyards are big, some backyards are smaller. But it seems that people want to go to somebody else's backyard because they think it's better.
Yeah.
And so I think what you did,
on the other side,
yeah,
like
but what you did will serve really as a stimulus to many people in the world who have a dream.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there are probably more little girls. I've interviewed very many people, but what seems to be a driving factor of some of the people, some of the persons I interviewed, women specifically, tend to have a characteristic like you had. Very early in life, they start registering things in something called a diary or an agenda. No, seriously. And they tend to put on a piece of paper what those dreams are. I don't want to say no men, but no men that I know do that regularly. All right.
That's interesting.
So you had a dream. You have a dream, but you had a dream. You registered that from a very small age, and you never forgot that. It took you some years to get to it. Other women that I've interviewed, I recently interviewed a Brazilian woman, Elisângela. Same thing. Her story is, what's her story? She wanted to climb Kilimanjaro mountain in Africa.
Okay.
Same thing. She wrote it. That was her dream she had. All right.
Yes.
It took her 30 years to do it, but she did it.
Yes.
Another woman in the United States, Dolores Presley, that I interviewed, I've known her for years. She had a dream when she was young. She wanted to be a ballet dancer. But she was a child that was overweight, was considered overweight at the time. Okay. And the ballet teachers thought that she should do tap dancing and not ballet. But she didn't forget her dream.
Yes.
It took her years, all right? What she did in the meantime, she created a whole line of products in the United States for what she called big sizes, plus sizes. She made a business, all right, around plus sizes. Today, she has a whole group about women, about girls. It's called She Elevates. She wants to, and it's directed towards girls that are from 8 to 14. And she wants them to all be CEOs. So that's just how long dreams last and how you are going to do and what you do with the energy that you have and create. It's going to start now. Your life is not over. It's just starting.
It's just starting, yes.
Yeah, just starting. And you're going to take everything. You've reached the first point of your dream. Now you're going to be talking about your dream. You're going to be helping other people preserve their own dream.
Yes,
and you're going to show people that dreaming is not only good. It takes work. You said that. There's a lot of work. Yeah. There's no free lunch in transforming a dream to reality, right? It's the emotion, it's crying, it's everything that you said. But it's possible.
Yes.
And now today you can relax a little bit, very little, right?
Very little.
Enjoy the flowers, enjoy maybe today later on.
Yes, these are from yesterday.
Maybe later have a glass of wine, sip, and look at a lake, and then you'll start all over again.
Yes.
And I think that's our lives. So that I feel part of that for me. I know that's for you. You are a role model in LinkedIn. You're a role model for women. You're a role model for transforming dreams into reality. That's all fact.
Yes,
you didn't invent anything. So
I'm literally happy that my dreams coming true took so many years, because I strongly believe, that is a fact, that the projects that last over time, that has ups and downs in the process, like this book, has more, powerful, are more immune to everything in the world. Right. If we have the projects like people, every strong people we know went through some part of drama and trauma and so on. We need that. Like, we need to get over crying my grandmother, for example, I was crying like crazy a few weeks ago, right? It's a death close to my family,
right.
but still before the book was released. And all of that in the process, in the journey of the project or a person, I believe that we need those downs.
Right.
We need those downs because, and I strongly believe in the business as well, it's the same. Like in networking, it's the same. We were talking about networking last time. I'm not a born networker, right? I needed to learn that.
Right.
I needed to learn LinkedIn, of course. I needed to learn entrepreneurship. I'm not born entrepreneur. I needed to learn that. And of course, with some mistakes, with crying and so on, and with, I don't know, whatever it comes aside, but still, I strongly believe that projects are more powerful when it comes to pain. Well, I'm not masochist, right? But still, the projects need some downs to be reach heights. I strongly believe that, and this book went over these downs, but still everything went fine, and there were so many challenges and so on. Nothing went crazy down, right, in the project, but still, since it was so personal, in the last few months, I had a lack of creativity. I needed to replace one leg in the book in the last minute. And I needed in the book, it is a third of a page. This kind of text paragraph, right? I need 6 hours for that paragraph. 6 hours, because it was so hard for me to create another sentence, another poetic reason why I picked that lake, and it was so hard for me, and I knew that I just need to get over with it. But it's a exercise for me as a person, how to get over these obstacles. And I'm really so much, I am a strong woman. I was before, but this time I'm like, I wrote a book, and I edited a book, I did everything. I wasn't designer. I have no knowledge for designing the book, right? But
we don't need that because other people know that.
Of course,
that's it. Find somebody who knows.
Yes, and I have a fantastic team, and the book has so many awesome pictures with drone. My close friend who goes a lot of times with me to the lakes, and he's a drone photographer, and he creates magic with drone. And the lake, the book has another dimension, and as I call it, we see the lakes as the birds see them, right? Or as the sky see the lake. We cannot see that, and some of pictures are magical, and these lakes are wow. And everybody was just saying, oh wow, what a picture. And it's really so many emotions, so many dimensions, so many parts of this project, of these lakes, and I'm overwhelmed with all of emotions.
Well, when I think that comes because when a dream becomes reality, you've had, like you said, years and years and years of emotion from the first time you took a piece of paper when you were a young girl and started writing about this dream. Can you imagine how much is in there? One of the things that one of these women that I had interviewed said, I'm not sure which, but it's good for everybody. She said, dreams don't have shelf life.
Okay.
Dreams don't have shelf life. They're good forever, but you do have to someday. It's not, well, the dreams can only last for 2 years. No, dreams could last for as long as they need to last. But what you've done and other people and these women have done and others still have done, they've nurtured that preserved it, gone through the process of understand how to bring that to reality, which is a whole different process. Look at how much you've learned, which you never even thought existed, about people and companies and processes and whatever. That's what the world's all about. So Mans, I want to thank you. We've come to a very extensive conversation. Probably one of the best that I've ever had. Seriously.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Because you've wrapped up everything that basically we talk about on entrepreneurship, on networking, on project, on business, on people, on countries, right? And I'm really amazed, but I just want to make sure that our listeners write down. So the name of the book is The Slovenia Lakes, right?
Yes.
And it's by Manca Korelc, and it's Manca Korelc, the top 101 lakes, right? So again, The Slovenia Lakes by Manca Korelc. It's Manca Korelc, the top 101 lakes. So now when people go into Google and search, they'll be able to find you. They'll find your book. They'll find access to it because the book, it has been launched. It's up. It's on sale. And if people want to see some of your fantastic lakes and share in some of your dreams, they can do that very practically now. They don't have to get on an airplane and go to Slovenia, right?
Yes.
But it's not saying that you don't want them to go someday. But for right, right now,
or to search and to find lakes in their country, right? Lakes are everywhere, and just you don't have to go to Slovenia. Well, kindly invited, but of course. But lakes are everywhere, and perhaps in the backyard of anybody's home that they can never see that lake, right? And my wish is that they see differently. That extent in water now. So with really reading the book. So. But
really, we want people to look at the lakes through your dreams, through your eyes of a dream.
Yes. Okay. For that, you need to read the book. Not just come to Slovenia and visit the lake. You need to read the book to actually to feel what the lakes are for me.
Well, Mans, I want to thank you again for sharing your time. I know you've had a busy evening last night. You've already had a busy morning in Slovenia. And now you need to you've had the adrenaline rush from all of the excitement, right? But really thank you for sharing your personal emotions with us. I think that's really the essence of looking inside a dream. And you've given us, me the privilege anyway, of being to share that with you actually the first day after the launching, which is massively emotional. So thanks again for your participation, okay?
Thank you for a second invitation. It was really a pleasure to talk about the book. The second day from the release, and it's still, I'm so emotional, and I like that, and I like this conversation, which was emotional, cannot be different than emotional. When I talk about lakes, I am emotional every time.
And so it shows, and that's good. That's not bad. So congratulations.
It's not bad. It's awesome, and I embrace that fact.
So thanks again. Okay.
Thank you.
And for our listeners, you'll find more about Manca Korelc on LinkedIn. And again, her name is Manca Korelc. And you'll find connections to the book as well. All right. And also on our site, talktobrazil.com, we'll have the link to the book where you'll be able to see that and the interview. All previous shows of Talk to Brazil are also available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and YouTube. I'd like to thank our audience and our sponsor, Focus MI Market Intelligence. Focus MI specializes in market research for the Brazilian agricultural market. More about them on their site, www.focusmi.com. Remember, when you talk to Tom, you talk to Brazil and the world. Goodbye, and thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to Tom Reaoch on Talk to Brazil, the business connector to Brazil.